All right, you and I are diving into something epic. Meet Ga Yun, the undefeated president of this elite warrior school. Suddenly, a totally busted up kid shows up out of nowhere. He challenges her to a fight. She is super confused, but since it is an easy win, she accepts. Everyone heads straight to the makeshift sparring room. Ga Yun walks in with absolute confidence, just radiating crazy boss energy. In a flash, she throws a lightning-fast kick that would normally wreck anybody. But somehow, the kid completely dodges it. That one single move makes the whole room gasp and hold their breath. She starts throwing wild combo attacks, but this guy dodges every single one like it is nothing. Ga Yun realizes she cannot land even one hit. She admits nobody has dodged her this long and actually offers a draw. Being the top fighter and missing a beaten-up kid, yeah, that is super embarrassing. But the kid actually refuses the draw. Furious, she charges in with absolutely everything she has, the second she gets close. She nearly takes a brutal kick that could have ended the whole match. He keeps going. Even totally exhausted, he is fighting on equal terms, completely shocking her. He decides to get serious, claiming he will use every last drop of his energy. Moving at lightning speed, he throws a crazy combo of kicks she can barely escape. Running on fumes, he puts everything into one massive ultimate strike. But the instructor sees the danger and steps in, blocking that final hit. She is stunned, knowing if he was fully healed. She absolutely would have lost. She walks away with one massive question: who the heck is this guy? This is Jae Young. She never knew him because he only ever used his powers when totally necessary. Normally, he is just an average kid whose only goal is helping his dad. Now pay attention, because we are finally meeting the legendary hero Song. When Earth got invaded by literal demons, Song unlocked an unheard-of next-level power. Because of him, the world actually survived the apocalypse. But these days, Jae Yun works as a black market dungeon smuggler just to survive. He sneaks into restricted zones, grabs forbidden loot, and hands it off to rich clients. He has pulled this off 371 times. But one day, a client gets furious, demanding the ultimate warrior and telling our main character to scram. When the kid calls him an old fool, the client snaps and sends his bodyguard to teach him a lesson. This guy, a maxed-out tank-class fighter. The giant walks up and throws a massive punch, but the kid dodges it like nothing. Impressed, the big guy swings again with way more force, but eats a brutal kick straight to the jaw that shatters the glass. The old man watches, completely speechless. The absolute unit gets up furious, pushing his body past the limit. Now he is tough enough to tank literal bombs and bullets. Walking away without a single scratch, he transforms into an armored titan. When he strikes, Jarong only dodges, knowing one hit from this beast is game over. While dodging, his boss tells him to wrap it up. The kid smirks, grabs some iron, and the second this massive giant attacks him, Jarong uses unreal strength to smash a punch right into his face, sending him straight to sleep. The bald dude finally realizes this kid is insanely overpowered. As a kid, he watched his dad train. Shan possessed a totally unique power that fascinated him. He started training alongside his dad every single day, leveling up his strength until he finally reached the godlike power tier he is right now. After that crazy showdown, Ga Yun tells the bald guy their price just doubled. The guy looks at the kid and agrees on the spot. He sips his water, hearing the job is in Yudo, but a city run by the deadliest monsters on Earth, Imperial wasps. You and I both see the massive red flags here. A while back, a government task force actually managed to assassinate the queen, but one of the 7 adventurers stole the royal jelly. The liquid wasps used to make a new queen, escaping into Yggdra forest. Today, everyone considers him dead. Hearing this royal jelly can cure absolutely anything and cheat death, John gets hyped. This epic item could actually save his dad from that incurable poison destroying his body. Our main character grabs his gear, opening the gate to the wildest, most dangerous mission ever. Yujiang steps into a mountainous zone, shielding his eyes from the blinding sun. When adhesion dungeons spawned globally, Korea got 2 massive ones. First was Gyudo, a dungeon completely fused with a volcanic mountain range. The other merged with the Yggdra jungle, and that is exactly where our guy is heading. Yggdra sits right in Seoul, in what used to be Yudo. With Yudo at the center, surrounding areas got swallowed up too, leaving a massive unexplored death zone. Most areas are D rank, but Yudo itself is S rank. That is where the thief took the jelly before heading to the Barama meeting spot. Jayob explains that at Barama, the smuggler lost contact. He probably died. But who knows, either way Zio Jun just has to reach the spot and secure that jelly before he leaves. Zioi stops him, warning him to stay totally focused. Smirking behind his mask, the kid asks if his boss actually thinks he would run away. Zio Satwin answers that he knows the kid isn't dumb enough for that. Then his boss drops one final warning: be careful out there. The royal jelly is absolutely priceless, and humans are not the only ones ready to die for it. Taking the warning to heart, the kid rappels down the massive cliff and slips into the forest. Once he pushes deep into the middle of the woods, he figures the entire forest can probably smell that weird scent. Suddenly, he looks down and completely freezes in pure shock and annoyance. Right there in the dirt, a massive, terrifying footprint. Zio Yang realizes that jelly smell is going to attract every monster around. Meanwhile, deeper inside the woods, birds scatter as a pointed-ear girl sprints through the trees, totally gasping for air. She ducks behind a tree just to catch her breath for 1 second. Her name is Jing Jin Saram, a first-year warrior currently experiencing the absolute worst day of her entire life. This was supposed to be an easy exam, but trust me, we are about to witness this simple test turn into a total disaster. Let us dive right into this crazy dungeon run. Jin just bumped into a massive beast that absolutely should not be here. She freezes up, staying super quiet, praying this giant monster will just walk right past her. But then a heavy gust of wind blows right at her, and reality hits hard. This exam was supposed to be a total cakewalk. All she had to do was farm some coins before the clock hit 0. Sure, it simulated real combat, but this zone was locked to the lowest rank. It should have been a complete breeze. We are talking basic beginner training. Any rookie could clear it. Then this absolute nightmare sneaks right up behind her, flashing a creepy grin. Jin totally panics. The mobs in here were supposed to be weak, brainless grunts, but not this guy. The four-armed giant swings at her with insane power, and she just barely dodges it. Running away? Yeah, not happening. Not against a beast this huge. She needs a plan B. Right then, she just prays for a literal miracle, whipping out her bow and knocking 3 arrows. The odds are garbage, but Jin is ready to throw down. The 3-star primal titan starts charging up this devastating breath attack. Fighting for her life, she lets all 3 arrows fly, but the beast just casually blocks them like it is nothing. Jin realizes its skin is literally thicker than a tank, meaning her chances are sitting at 0. Then the primate smashes its arm into the ground, blasting wind and heavy rocks everywhere. She dodges out of the way again, and even midair, Jin preps another shot. She already knows her arrows cannot break its defense, but she is completely out of options. 3 more arrows shoot out, supercharged by the wind. They barely leave a scratch, and the titan literally does not even blink. Looking at it, Jin realizes she never actually planned to kill it with those hits. She just wanted to bait it closer and make it drop its guard for a split second. Now she lines up another arrow, but this one is bursting with flames. This crazy plan might actually work. Landing safely, she dumps pure magic into it since her class lets her enchant arrowheads. With her life totally on the line, Jin hypes herself up to strike, activating her flame bombardier skill. She fires off a blazing shot that completely scorches the ground. Her magic capacity for arrows is basically unlimited, so for her ultimate move, she creates the most massive explosion possible. Now watch closely because this is where it gets wild. The shot lands, sparking a massive explosion. She stares through the smoke, wondering if that monster is finally toast. That massive hit should have deleted any 3-star threat instantly, but as the smoke clears out, Jin is completely horrified. The monster somehow survived by grabbing onto 2 trees. It barely made it out alive, and now it looks absolutely furious that its dinner actually fought back. Even her ultimate attack was useless without a direct hit. Panic sets in deep, and Jin really thinks this might be the end. Before she even tries to run, the monster hits the dirt and comes charging right at her. Jin spins around and sprints for her life, while the titan hunts her down with this totally unhinged look, loving every second of it. Then out of nowhere, our main character drops in and totally smashes his weapon into the titan. Jin looks up, completely shell-shocked, treating this guy like a literal superhero. Hanging in the air, Jirian locks eyes with the girl he just rescued. While Jin is still processing the chaos, the giant takes a brutal shot to the jaw and stumbles back. Trying to stay steady, he lands perfectly on a branch, realizing that even a flawless uppercut was not enough to drop it. Looking down, he sees the beast glaring back up at him with pure rage. He grabs a weird gadget from his pocket, an adventurer tool that acts like a weapon, holding bait in one hand and the tool in the other. The boy dives right back in to finish the beast off. Jin is totally mind-blown watching this. She never expected anyone to actually fight that monster head-on. Honestly, it looks like a suicide mission, and the angry titan swings both arms at him. Jarong screams at her to close her eyes immediately. She has zero clue why, but he aims the strange tool right at the monster's face. They are seconds away from a brutal clash where only one walks away. I know what you are thinking, how does he survive this? Well, the tool in Jarong's hand erupts. He shuts his eyes tight just as the flash bombs the beast. The intense light completely floods the forest, leaving the titan totally blinded. Surem listens to his warning, squeezing her eyes shut and throwing her arm up for extra cover. The clueless monster takes the full blast of the heavy light straight to the face. It screams in pure anger as our main character lands, figuring that flash tool is completely cooked now since it was his absolute last one. That crazy gadget is a stun light, crafted from the rare scales of an oscillating fish snagged from way down in the deep ocean dungeons. Its stun effect made it totally overpowered, so adventurers bought them up like crazy. But since it worked way too well, people spammed it, and tons of guys ended up going blind. Because of that, crafting them is straight up illegal now. Even with her eyes closed, Siro was still dizzy from how intense the flash was. So she slowly starts blinking them open. Rushing past her with his baton, Yu Jarong says he just bought her a little time, and now she is completely on her own. Our MC figures as long as he does not carry a rookie through the dungeon, nobody will report him. He remembers his boss calling smugglers literal roaches to normal adventurers. And since the bounty for snitching on one is absolutely massive, just one dumb mistake could get him locked up by the government. He definitely did not want any more drama today. But as Jaeyoung kept running, he noticed something that completely stressed him out. Someone was tailing him right now. It was literally the girl from earlier. Seeing her chasing him down, he groaned, totally clueless about what she wanted. Gasping for air, Anisha kept pushing forward after the dude who saved her, desperate to say thanks. But knowing the golden rule of surviving the streets, he decided not to risk it and sprinted away. In literally 1 second, Anisha lost his trail completely. She stops in her tracks, totally baffled because he was just right in front of her. Suddenly her guard slips and a heavy baton smacks her neck, tossing her back. Jarong pins her down, calling her a total idiot and demanding to know what her deal is. Anisha panics, swearing she did not mean any trouble. She just wanted to thank her actual hero. The MC coldly asks if she honestly expects him to fall for such a totally rookie trap. Then she spills the real tea. She actually knew he was an underground smuggler, but she swears up and down she was not trying to bust him. She wanted to hire his services instead, which honestly makes him freeze. Spotting the Warrior Academy patch on her jacket, he sighs hard and finally chills out a bit. So what do you and I take from this wild ride? Never cross a smuggler. He pulls back his baton, warning her this is her absolute last chance to survive, as he turns to. All right, stick with me here, we're dropping right into the madness. Jaeyoung turns his back, claiming he has zero interest in a Warrior Academy kid. His voice goes ice cold, warning Anisha he'll actually bury her. She freezes for a second, but back down, no way. Instead, she mentions that smugglers go for 50 million, meaning hunters must fetch 400 million. Juryong takes that as a massive insult and totally flares up, but then he spots something in her hand. His entire vibe flips. Issa is holding the Blood of Enkil necklace. She points out that scoring 1 usually means catching 5 smugglers, over 200 million total. Sweating hard, she offers it as a simple down payment. She promises way more if the main character helps her pass. He just stares at the necklace. He mutters she is not just some spoiled brat. She is filthy rich and absolutely insane. Anisha snaps back that being crazy does not matter. Holding it high, she tells him this chance will flip his whole life. Jarong sighs heavy, admitting he expected something wild like this. Then he apologizes, blaming Anisha, and casually says he does not even need a reason to kill her. Totally rattled, she asks what he means. A massive shadow suddenly swallows the light. Looking up, he reminds her time is up. Right on cue, an enraged, four-armed primate beast comes crashing down from the sky. It tracked their flash and slams down hard with all four arms. Both of them dive away just in time. Suddenly, a blur flies right at Anisha. She catches it. It is Jerong's baton. He yells at her to stop freezing up and asks if she remembers that fire attack. Flashing back to coating her arrow in flames, she hears him order her to ignite the baton and toss it right back. Anisha panics, yelling she is practically out of magic. The main character cuts her off, figure it out. You feel that tension, right? The monster winds up to strike. He yells he cannot hold its aggro barehanded forever. Anisha desperately funnels her magic into the baton. She realizes her tank is on empty, less than a quarter power left. Watching Jerong brawl with the Titan, she knows this tiny spark will not even scratch the beast. Just for a second, she actually considers running while he plays bait. Meanwhile, our guy is throwing hands with everything he has, fighting to survive. Annoyed but locked in, he keeps dodging, forcing the monster's focus completely onto himself. Then, perfect speed and aim. The flaming baton rockets back, and Jirian snags it clean. Anisha drained her entire magical core for that throw. She absolutely cannot believe she is risking this much for him. Calling her crazy, he leaps high, spinning the baton, and loudly declares he is disappointed. This is not even a quarter of her previous power. Honestly, he calls it pathetic. Even so, he smirks and says it will do. Dripping with confidence, he grips the blazing weapon and charges the beast. As the clash peaks, Anisha remembers the golden rule of the Warrior Academy. Against real monsters, raw strength is never enough for an adventurer to win. Timing is everything, and Jerong is a masterclass right now, smoothly dodging hits while hunting for that one perfect opening. The absolute key is landing the perfect strike. The primate titan swings wide, leaving its guard totally exposed. Make every strike count. Anisha watches, completely blown away. After dancing around every deadly blow, Jaeyoung finds his window and brutally uppercuts the baton right into the Titan's chin. Boom, a massive explosion hits. As smoke clears, the beast's lower face is ruined. The main character's glasses shatter from the shockwave. Seeing the beast fall, a tiny smirk hits his face. Game over. Right then, a heavy memory from Anisha's childhood flashes back. Little Anisha had just finished playing and was packing up to leave. Her massive bodyguard was already waiting by the fancy car to escort her home. Waving goodbye, her friends cheerfully chatter about tomorrow. But then she catches them whispering, gossiping about how lucky she was, getting absolutely everything handed to her on a silver platter. But they were dead wrong. Because of her status, there were so many normal things she could never actually have. Her dad ran the Jinsong Group, South Korea's fourth biggest global megacorp. And the heir, he married a literal elf from another dimension. That wild crossover created someone unforgettable. Anisha, a dark-haired half-elf with a seriously stubborn heart. I know we all love an underdog. She admired adventurers deeply, desperately wanting to be one. But fate said no, forcing her to abandon that dream. Later, a blonde elf crushes her hopes entirely. Anisha lies exhausted on the dirt as he coldly explains her elven blood is way too weak. She is basically human. He tells the guy next to him they need to stop pushing her and talk her down, but Shayu calmly replies he is not forcing her to do anything. He is just backing her adventurer dream. Elven talent is not a strict requirement, and the elf actually agrees, compared to your average normal human. He admits Anisha has okay potential, but honestly, she is only slightly above average. All this insane effort is just going to waste. The blonde elf tells Sunanju straight up, his daughter is no basic human. She is way too stubborn to ever just quit on her own. She got that fire from her mom, the elf sister. Still, he drops the harsh truth. No matter her grind, she will never reach the level of true monsters. At her absolute peak, she might become fairly capable. Cut to present-day older Anisha. The elf's words echo, with enough blood, sweat, and tears. She might earn praise as an elite, normal human. Besides, she was born with huge advantages anyway: wealth, status, and her bloodline. He warned those exact privileges would make her struggle look like a joke. Hard limits exist. People will totally trash her out of pure jealousy. Leaving her entirely alone, labeled as just another spoiled princess. Even if she gets strong, that crushing loneliness will snap her. complete isolation eventually breaks everyone. Snapping back to reality, Jaeyoung just casually bodied the boss. Seeing this insane victory, Anisha is totally speechless. He lands and the giant beast crashes down right behind him. One single facial strike completely ruined it. Walking away, something lightly brushes his ear, freezing him in his tracks. And honestly, you and I would react the exact same way. Staring like she saw a ghost, she mutters that it is literally impossible. All right, stick with me here. Her savior is just a high school kid. Jaeyoung touches his face, realizes what happened, and gets instantly annoyed for totally slipping up. He remembers Jihawan warning him to be super careful with these expensive glasses, now holding the weird busted frames. Yu says they look totally basic and shouldn't cost much. His boss shuts that down fast. Those glasses block face scans, change your voice, and pack 4 crazy magic effects. Back to the present, and those pricey glasses are completely smashed to pieces from Jihawan's last attack. He covers his face, muttering that this whole situation is going downhill fast and getting on his nerves. Still trying to process everything, the girl actually asks if he's a veteran from the Warrior Academy. Already fed up because he just wanted a simple gig, our protagonist bluntly says no. Then Yu turns to her, absolutely furious, and demands the item she promised him. To his surprise, she hands over the necklace right away, 0 arguments. That just reminds him how loaded Jin really is, so he quickly snatches the jewel before she can study him any longer. With the necklace secured, Jaeyoung checks it over and confirms it is the real deal. Then Jin actually asks if he needs more money. She says even if he skipped the Warrior Academy, those adventure training schools are still insanely expensive. Before she can offer cash, our MC cuts in. He doesn't attend any adventure school. That shocks her even more. He tells her she has him all wrong. Jihawan explains he has never gone to any adventure school, not even close. He just goes to a totally normal school. Jin then asks who taught him to fight like that. He says literally no one. Walking closer with his hands shoved in his pockets, he calmly adds that he taught himself. This time, Jin gets annoyed. She snaps back that there is 0 chance that is true.
If you enjoy this kind of content and want to watch more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to leave a comment, give the video a like, and click the notification bell so you'll never miss my latest uploads. Thank you for your support.